Hi. Hi, guys. Welcome to live. One second while I get this set up. Hi, TCM Cole. How are you? Today we are going to be talking about mountain habitats. I'm good. Hi, Eli Velasquez, 65K. Hope you're having a good day. TCM Cole, I'm not sure what that means. Good ho ate you? I'm not sure what that means. Okay, so let's see. Oh, I'm good. Can you guys see me? I always do that. I always get myself. Oh. Okay. We're going to get started because I don't know where the rest of my people are at. Mountains can be a very, very challenging place for animals to live in. They are seemingly inhospitable places, and yet they provide homes for an amazing group of animals who have adapted for life in these towers of rocks. Very few places do we see very clearly the shifts in vegetation. They may start in deciduous forest, coniferous forest, rainforest, deserts, or grasslands. As you travel up in a mountain, there are shifts in vegetations. You can literally find grasslands and tundra, pine forest. Bye, TCM Cole. Have a good one. Mountain habitats are more than just rocks. Oh, thank you. Awesome, TCM Cole. Thanks for this. Thanks for subscribing. Mountain habitats are more than just rocks and plants. They contain alpine lakes, springs, and even glaciers. But we're going to get real for a little bit, and we're going to look at mountains in at least 3 different areas, some of the plants and animals that live there, and just enjoy. So mountains in the Rockies, that is in North America, in the United States, we have several mountain ranges, but we're going to look at just the Rockies. Here you're going to mainly see grassland, sagebrush, and we are below 5,600 feet at this point. You're going to be in the foothills, and you're going to be seeing sagebrush, pinyon pine, juniper, and even a species of oak called Gamble's oak or Gamble oak. Here the climate is dry and windy. You're going to find typical grassland animals and plants at this level. So rattlesnakes, pronghorn antelope, bison. And then you move up and you're around 1,700 to 2,900 feet. This is the montane ecosystem. Here you're going to find pine forest, ponderosa pine, lodgepole pine, Douglas fir, along with quaking aspen and meadows. This is where you're going to find animals like elk, mule deer, black bear, mountain lion, and other animals as well. Now, our next stop is the subalpine ecosystem, and this is where you're going to find a transition between forest and treeless expanse. It is between 9,000 to 11,000 feet, and the climate at this point on the mountain is vastly different from the others that we've looked at. Here, it is colder, wetter, you have heavier snows, the growing season is much shorter. Forests include subalpine fir and Engelmann spruce, along with white bark pine. Trees are often stunted near the tree line, and here you will also find snowshoe hares, pikas, squirrels, elk, and moose. Finally, what is to me the most fascinating ecosystem, this one is located Hi, TCM Cole. I thought you were leaving. Nice. Now we're at around 11,000 to 11,500 feet. And the climate here, for lack of a better word, is harsh. High winds, intense sunlight, snow for most of the year, and surprisingly dry. The growing season here is very short. Plants here are small and low to the ground. Think of it like the Arctic tundra. And that's exactly what you're looking at. Plants include grasses, sedges, wildflowers, and lichens. And animals here include bighorn sheep, mountain goats, and even pika. Hi, Lauren Brooks, 4904. Lorraine Brooks, 9409. Hello, how are you? If you're not from North America, or if you're not from the United States, can you put in what country you're from? And depending upon where you live, where the mountains are, and the age of the mountains, things can look really, really different, at least sort of. It doesn't matter, basically doesn't matter where you live, you're going to have a different setup. as you move up and down the mountains. So next up, we're going to look at the Carpathian Mountains in Europe. And of course, we always have the foothills. Here, you're going to find oak, lime, and hornbeam trees. Now, for those of us that live outside of Europe, we are not talking about lime trees. Hi, Lorraine Brooks. Please don't spam. I saw you the first time. Here you're going to find, again, that lime that we talked about is not a lime tree. It's not going to have fruits on it like we think of a green lime. This is going to be basswood if you live in the United States. Between 600 meters and 1,100 meters, or 1,968 feet to 300 and 608 feet. That's okay. Just, yeah, I don't do spam, so just be careful. Here you're going to find, again, forest, including beech, silver fir, mixed with Norway spruce and sycamore. You may also get forests that are just silver fir and Norway spruce, along with stands of rowan or mountain ash, which is what we call it here in the United States. The next level that we see here in these mountains, I think I misspelled it. I think it's KRUMMHOLZ. I think I spelled that right. This is a level where you enter, basically it's subalpine to alpine zone. And here you're going to find mountain pine, dwarf juniper, green alder. You may also get meadows or alpine meadows. A lot of these zones are filled with flowers. And of course, the animals are going to look very different than they did here in the United States. Animals may include, and I'm assuming these are found at different elevations, but you may find alpine butterflies, or sorry, not alpine butterflies. Good night, Dane Tiger. You may also find Apollo butterflies, adders, spotted salamanders, alpine newts, Carpathian newts, three-toed woodpeckers, black woodpeckers, gray-headed woodpeckers, red-breasted rock thrushes, red-winged wall creepers, corncrake, lesser spotted eagles, imperial eagle, owls, peregrine falcons, Jeffrey's bat, greater and lesser horseshoe bats, otters, snow voles, Carpathian stag, which is, of course, the deer, European bison, Carpathian bison, which is a subspecies of the European bison, wolf, wild boar, red deer, European lynx, and brown bears. Again, depending upon where you live, dictates what animals, what plants are going to grow on these mountains. Even if you are located in the tropics, you may still get snow at the top of your mountains. Hey, D-Man, glad you're passing through. Thank you. I appreciate it. So at this point, do we have any questions? This is going to be a shorter one just because I ran out of material. I have been lucky to have had the experience of going west with my family multiple times. And we don't usually get up into the high mountains, but going into Yellowstone National Park, I have been at summit level. I have seen subalpine and alpine environments, and these environments are very, very fragile. They don't recover really well from damage. So if you are on those levels and you're hiking, stay on the trail. I cannot stress that enough. Oh, I got something in my eye. Yeah. And the mountains look very different in winter. I've never really been out west during the winter. Um, but they are amazing, amazing places. Now, you should know that while I'm talking about moose and elk, the animal that you know in Europe as elk is what we call moose. Yeah. In my experience, you want to stay as far away from the cliff as you can, especially if you're like me and you don't do heights. Do I regret going into Yellowstone and going up and over the mountains and nearly having a panic attack? Absolutely not. It is 100% worth it. I'm guessing I don't have questions, which is okay. I really thought I would to get enough material. I wanted to do South America. I just did not get that far. But in case you're wondering, volcanoes count as mountains? I'm not sure how much of what we've discussed applies. Tonight, when I was in Yellowstone, we did see bison. We saw elk, we saw moose. Going in, we saw places where the fires that Yellowstone had in the 80s, you could tell where some of that happened. We saw bear cubs. I did not see mom. And we saw some prairie dogs and marmots. And I'm not sure if we saw, I didn't see a lot of really cool things. But had we been a week earlier in one of the areas that we were in, they actually had a bear cub that had managed to fall into one of the not the geysers, but they're heated pools. And I forget what they call them. And it got seriously burned. And mom was still lurking around. They actually had to trank her and take her higher up into the mountains, and they had to deal with the cub. because it was just beyond what they could do for it. So I also did not see any wolves, which sort of made me sad. Because I'm one of those people that I want to see everything that nature has to offer, and I just didn't get that chance. I was hoping to see a bald eagle, didn't happen. Saw some Clark's nutcrackers. They're pretty common. Probably some magpies, and I think Canadian geese. We didn't spend a lot of time like out and about. Yeah, you don't want to get in those pools. We are talking about over 4,000 degrees Fahrenheit or 200 degrees Celsius, and that's on the cool end. That is on the cool end. They can also be 160 to 190 degrees Fahrenheit. Oh, wait. These are surface temperatures. Surface temperatures. 160 to 190 degrees Fahrenheit or 70 to 90 degrees Celsius. With water reaching over 400 degrees Fahrenheit or 200 degrees Celsius. So, not something you want to be a part of. And if you do manage to get in, these waters are also, yeah. I've heard of people who have fallen in, and I don't know how long it takes, but there was very, very little left. So it does get miserable. There's even some that are hotter than others, depending upon where you're at in the park. You just don't want to get into those pools. They will do amazing things for you. Over 100. maybe 500. Guys, if I haven't said it, thank you for voting. Remember, if you are not subscribed, please subscribe. Is it? Whoa, that's definitely more than I have. That's crazy. Well, I think, depending upon how this goes today, I'm going to get off of here, or once I'm done here, I'm going to record some shorts and then hop on that wonderful place called TikTok. That would be really cool to see. I can imagine that one was pricey. Don't know by how much, but I can imagine. Tonight's topic is going to be cloud forest, I believe. Always have to give it a few minutes to there it goes. Okay. Yeah, it's going to be cloud forest. Tomorrow we are doing Penguin and Puffin Coast and Arctic Panorama. I don't think I'm doing the same thing at the 6 p.m. session. So I will need to look and make some fine tune it and see what I can come up with. The 9th, we're doing Javan Rhino and Red Crowned Roofed Turtle at 1 p.m. I need a topic for the I don't know why. Okay. Be good. Be safe. I don't know why I don't have... Don't know why I don't have a topic for that. That's weird. So I'm going to figure out... I think I'm going to do... Javan Sparrow. Hi, everybody. I am taking time out to fill in some gaps. It's really hard sometimes finding what I want to do for some of these lives. You know what? I'm not going to do that. Hi, everybody. How's everybody doing? I hope everybody's doing okay, that you're not stressing out. I'm trying to figure out, because I have to, okay, looks like that one's good. I am filling in some gaps in my live calendar, because I have some that I need to fix. And it can be really hard, guys, to do these. Just FYI. Well, I think I'm going to go, because I don't see anybody in. So bye, everybody.